Misogyny. It exists. It doesn't go away. It's a constant. It never ends. It never ends with us.
Who are you talking to?
Blake Lively. Welcome back to another episode of Just You and Me with Donna and
Adam. I can't believe we made it back.
I mean, you know what they say.
I don't.
I actually don't either. But I was thinking, like, if you make it to 2 episodes, you're going to make it forever.
Okay, that sounds like something you just made up, but I like it. I'll take it.
I feel good about that too. I feel like I need to get more cozy here.
Right,
I feel like I need to see you. Oh, we're short.
We're good. I know.
So, Adam, how's your week?
How's my week? It's been good.
Yeah?
It's been good. Crazy.
Why?
Just, I feel like I'm a chauffeur. It's pretty much what it is.
Well, that's...
Between Girl Scout events, between...
That's
Hebrew
yours,
school.
right? You're in the Girl Scouts.
Of course.
Yeah, they're finally allowing dads into it.
They are, and I look awesome
Did you petition
with my
for
vest. I look awesome with my vest. I have no patches, but I look awesome.
Do they still do patches?
Of course they do.
Well, how do you get a patch?
Different things. You can do some charity work. You can learn how to. There's like rock climbing ones. Literally, there's patches for everything.
Okay,
it's ridiculous. But yes, I was a chauffeur all weekend. With art classes, music classes, Hebrew school. It just never ends. Never ends.
Hebrew school is every Sunday.
Every Sunday, yes.
And both the kids go.
Yeah. I mean, right now it's more like kind of fun bullshit where they just learn about culture and all that stuff. And then next year, my oldest one, Bellamy, who is going to be in 4th grade, will start prepping and really learning Hebrew and understanding how to, get a bat mitzvah at that point.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
In what way? Because I'm personally not ready for... listen, she's 9, right? I can't believe she's going to be double digits. That I'm not happy about. I'm happy, but I'm not happy.
I know. It's weird when you have kids growing up, when you still feel like a kid. I find this all the time. Sometimes I'll be driving my car and I seriously sit and I'm like, wait, I don't understand. Like, who allowed me to drive?
I know, right?
How do I drive?
For how long have you been driving?
I'm 22, so like just 6 years, 7.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
Mazel. That's
yeah,
great.
It's weird.
That's good.
No, but sometimes I really truly am like, who allowed this? When you're momming and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Well, it happens all the time. We're parents for the first time with our kids. We don't know how to be parents. We've never had kids.
No.
So we're just figuring it out.
It boggles my mind. Even more for you because your kids are older.
Yeah.
That we've been parents for this long. And we have, I guess, not really fucked it up. I've done stupid shit because...
Is it our fault?
Which part?
All the parenting problems, like the things that are wrong with our kids. They say it's our fault.
Yeah, of course.
So, oh my God, this is totally off topic for the Jewish of the show, but we're Jewish and we're people, and so it works.
We're Jewish and we're people.
And as we deserve to talk about things.
Okay.
I'm a boy mom.
Yes.
And so allegedly now there's this whole thing going on online, this like hate against boys. There's like an anti-men thing going on online.
Yeah.
And so I've been fighting actively against it online. I'm like, I don't like this new generation of women hating men. They call it toxic femininity, right? That's
right.
it, because you know how they said, like, we're going to fight back against all of the men that hate women.
Right.
So now we're going to be women that hate men. And so I've tried to fight back, but now they're coming back at me and they're saying, if you're a boy mom, you need to do better. You need to teach your boys how to be better men. And I'm like, shit, don't I have enough on my plate?
But there's 2 of you. Why is it just on you?
Exactly. It's always the women's fault. Why don't they blame Lance?
Well, I think Lance is doing a good job.
What?
I don't know about you, but I think Lance is doing a good job.
So you immediately took his side.
You guys are both doing a good job.
Misogyny. It exists. It doesn't go away. It's a constant. It never ends. It never ends with us.
Who are you talking to?
Blake Lively.
What does Blake Lively have to do? Well, we have gone into a weird spot here.
Daily Dose of Donna, Just You and Me. I can't tell them apart sometimes.
No, you can't.
Well, so Adam, what?
That was the other part of my week.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So much basketball.
Okay, NCAA.
Yes.
March Madness.
Yes, there's a reason why I'm wearing this hat. So, lots of basketball.
Not to cover up hairlines or anything?
No, thankfully, which is so weird. I do have some grays, but I don't understand how my grandfather is so bald, he was so bald. I have no idea how I'm not just shiny glarehead, which I would need makeup from you to get over.
Is it your dad's father? Is
No,
it
it's my
Foot Guy's
mom's. I think
dad?
Foot Guy. I like it. We'll go over that soon.
Foot Guy is going to become a very important part of the show.
Just real quick, my dad is a retired podiatrist, and he is still to this day, his vanity plate is Foot Guy. Mm-hmm. So if you ever see Foot Guy roaming around the San Fernando Valley, you will notice that would be my dad.
So until the day he dies, he will always carry a Foot Guy license.
Hell yeah. It's like the Ass Man from Seinfeld, if you've ever watched that.
I don't remember the Ass Man.
Oh, man. It's Kramer accidentally gets vanity plates that says Ass Man. So everybody starts
How do you
yelling.
spell ASS?
ASS, and it's for a proctologist. But he is like constantly getting, not accosted, but people are yelling out the window as he's driving by, hey, it's the Ass Man. And it's really weird. Sometimes that happens to my dad.
Well, especially
with the
because
Foot
there's
Guy.
like fetishes around feet.
Yes, there is, which makes this even weirder. So I really hope people make that connection that he was a podiatrist, but I don't think they are. I don't think they are.
When you were growing up,
Yes.
did he have Foot Guy?
He had a different one that was more professional, wasn't Foot Guy. So it was, I don't know, more...
Dr. Feet?
Dr. Foot? No. This was...
I fix feet?
I don't know why he decided. Maybe somebody had it, and then
he was
he's
like-
been waiting for it.
and they died.
And Foot Guy number 1 passed away.
Yeah.
So he
was on the waiting
able
list.
to take Foot Guy. It's like an athlete who's waiting to take back that number that they always wanted to be on their jersey. And they had to wait for one person to retire just to have that done.
So back to your
basketball.
list, back to your hair, back to basketball. Trojans, you're a USC Trojan, obsessed,
Yes.
loving. You graduated USC, so
Yes.
you will always be a Trojan.
I will always be a Trojan. Love going to as many football, basketball games as I possibly can.
Such a pain in the ass, though,
What?
isn't it? Like, it's fun in theory, but going, it's like a lot. Isn't it? Like the tailgating, the parking, the driving, the...
Okay, you sound like a Jewish mom who is or a Jewish dad in my case.
Come
who's
on,
just
you
annoyed.
never feel that way?
No, when I go, if you had to hear my rap on the beach, on how much I hate, I mean, despise the beach. We're not going to get into that now. I feel like I could do an
Episode 3.
entire episode
Okay.
about. Wait till summer for that one.
Okay.
About the beach, but okay, I digress. So no, I don't find. I find it fun because I go with all my buddies that I went to college with, and we do do some tailgating, some drinking, mostly for football stuff. But for basketball, it's a great time right now. The men's team, not so much, not doing a great job. But the USC Trojans women team has been fantastic. They're number 1 seed, and it is awesome to see them play. They're playing tonight, which is why I'm wearing the hat.
So you're a supporter of women's basketball.
Of course I am. Why not?
I don't know. I didn't. Let's be real. The numbers do not show that
true.
as many people. So NCAA March Madness is both men's and women's at the same time.
Yes, there's a couple of different just days of the week where they play on different days, but they happen at the same time. The same type of format.
You do brackets for
Same
both?
I have not done brackets for women because, as you said, numbers are low, so people don't
It's not
follow
as
it as much.
exciting.
But with, I love watching with my daughters.
Aww.
Bellamy, who's my oldest, my 9-year-old, I took them to a game, I want to say about a month ago, and they had a great time. So anytime we watch at home, she watches as well. And fun fact is that the coach, Lindsay Gottlieb, is Jewish. Gottlieb, very, very Jewish.
Of the
last name.
USC Trojan.
Of the USC Trojan. Women's.
And she's been around for a long time there?
She's definitely newer to the Trojans, but she was at UCSB for a little bit, and she kind of made her way
My
up.
school.
Yes. And now she's kicking ass. I mean, to have a number 1 seed team at USC for women's is awesome. And the fact that she's Jewish makes it even more awesome. It's just cool to have, a member of our tribe kind of representing that.
Was
So,
she a player as well?
I don't remember if she was a player. I gotta hop
How
on the
many
Wikipedia.
Jewish basketball players have there been? Like professional, do you think?
Basketball. Oh, that's not 0.
Lance, that felt crazy.
That was
you
a very
just can't-
quick answer,
Yeah,
too.
how did you, what?
Um,
My husband, ladies and gentlemen. He loves Jews.
So there have been not many.
Yeah.
There's a couple of Israeli basketball players that have played in the past. There's a couple that play now. There was one on the Lakers, which is my professional team, born and raised in LA. Jordan Farmar. He is.
I remember that name.
Yes, he played kind of the I think it was the Kobe Pau Gasol era. I know if you remember anything about basketball. But yes, he was Jewish. I mean, he still is Jewish, not dead. He's still Jewish. But yeah, he was definitely. My friends and I would call him the dreidel. No, it didn't take off, but we called his nickname the dreidel.
You tried.
Didn't work.
Was it before hashtags, maybe?
Maybe, yes, it definitely was before.
Like if it was these days, it could have been like a thing. Exactly. Could have been a meme. So speaking of basketball, and this is like a good little segue because Lance was very, very big on getting our family to do these brackets. Yes. To get us to get into it.
I feel like he's a bracket voting, like all that kind of stuff.
It's anything to get like competitive in the house and get us into it. Lance and Oliver, our youngest, are really into these things. Okay. Dylan and I are kind of like take it or leave it. But I like a bracket situation because then I get more competitive. It's like when you're betting on something, like even when we watch the Oscars, you get more into it if you're doing the ballot. So we did the brackets, and I don't know. I always just remember that Michigan does well in things. So I voted for Michigan to go all the way, which I was very upset about finding out that it's not a good choice, except Dave Portnoy, I found out, did choose Michigan to go all the way. And I think he's like kind of good at sports.
Yeah, he knows sports, but he's not the be all end all with this, obviously.
Well, I mean, Michigan. No one is because
he also went to Michigan. He's a little biased.
Oh, well, no one is Biff with the almanac. Okay, only a few people have that like
nice 80s reference. I love it.
This is the Back to the Future studio, by the way. I don't know if you know that we're a doc studio.
And Lance took me on the tour. He showed me.
What I will say is that had I known Bruce Pearl from Auburn University prior to filling out that bracket, Auburn would go all the way.
Yes.
Can you tell me and the rest of the Just You and Me crowd about Bruce Pearl? He's mishpacha. He's family. I'm obsessed with Bruce Pearl.
Yeah, I think what's interesting this year is that if you look at the coaches of all the number one seed teams this year, 3 out of the 4 have Jewish coaches.
What are the 4 teams?
So it is...
Really putting you on the spot
Duke,
here.
Houston's the one that doesn't. It's Duke, Auburn, and Florida. Yes, those are the 4, and then Houston's the one that does not have Jewish coach, so we don't want Houston.
So we don't run the media, but we run basketball coaches.
Well, apparently that's what we do, and we apparently do it very, very well.
Gottlieb too. Throw her in there.
Yeah, throw her in there.
Okay, so Bruce Pearl and the weather.
Control the weather.
Bruce Pearl is so. Not only is he Jewish, he's incredibly, incredibly proud.
Yes.
And he's a Zionist. I mean, a strong one.
And he's been a huge voice for the Jewish community
and the hostages
in this country, as well as what you said, the hostages. It was very interesting. You shared that clip with me earlier, which is whenever I receive a sports clip from somebody who doesn't watch sports, I know it's not going to be 100% related to sports, but I do enjoy it because it's like, all right, Donna, you're paying attention.
Well, it's like you sending me a clip about reality TV.
Right, exactly.
I would be like, wait, what?
Right.
It's out of context.
Completely out of context. But I enjoyed it. And him basically saying, hey.
It was a press conference after they won their first game.
Right, exactly. And he's saying, he basically said he talked to his team. He's like, he wanted to make sure his team is okay, that he says something about the American Jewish hostage that is still in Gaza.
Oh, he had asked his team if it's okay.
Yeah, he said, because he wanted to, I know, it's great, because he wanted to make sure that it's like, make sure everyone's comfortable with it. And then what he did is before he talked about how great his team did, what's in it for the future of this tournament, that was his number one priority. And I thought that was awesome. I mean, again, any type of Jewish voices, especially these days, that have a microphone in their face, any type of platform that could say this type of stuff, it's hugely beneficial.
The fact that he took that moment where it's a strange audience for it, like it's not a political moment, it's not it's totally out of pocket.
Right.
but took that moment to say it is why I do it on my other show, why I ever mention it.
Right.
And I think it throws people off, and it's scary for some people because they immediately imagine like something negative to come out of it. In fact, I just shared it on my stories yesterday, which my Daily Dose of Donna, or my Donna Bowling Instagram, which has nothing to do with when you're upon first seeing it. It's just this pop culture page.
Yeah.
And even though it says Proud Jew in the Instagram bio, people don't notice that. They'll follow me because of a reel that goes viral.
And then they just press follow and they're gone.
And I got so many new followers in the last few months with the Blake Lively stuff. And then all of a sudden, people yesterday just sharing that clip. So this is an American man who coaches an American basketball team, a college basketball team, who is speaking about an American hostage in a war. And the amount of DMs that I got last night saying,
really?
Stick to pop culture. This is propaganda. How dare you? I can't believe you would share such falsities. This is fake. This is wrong. Unfollowing. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
It's super annoying because I don't care what your view is of the conflict that's happening. If most of your audience is American, and forget about the Jewish part, let's just say most of your audience is American, it is somebody who is an American who's held hostage for doing nothing.
I know.
And people have issues with that. It's just a weird time right now. And it makes me sick when I hear shit like that. I mean, I don't have the audience you have yet.
Just wait until we go global.
Ooh, love it. But so I don't get that kind of pushback. I've gotten a couple, like, as right after the war started and all that. But I know the shit that you go through is pretty sickening, and
it's intense.
And I see a lot of it just online. No matter what, you go on anyone's feed and you see not DMs, but you see comments about it. And again, it's a human being that is being held hostage. God forbid that you say something about it. I don't know. It makes zero sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And, if anything could just be a show of support, would be that guy, right?
Yeah.
Like it was just such a sweet moment that he would say that. And you just try to imagine if he said that about anything else. Like if you remember Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
Right? Or like how many other, hostages were taken, like reporters or journalists or anyone else, right? So many other times this has happened in our country.
Yep.
And it's been protests and so many people have stood for. It's just really, really scary. But that's really what it's like being Jewish in 2024, 5, 3. Well, the end of 2023.
Yeah. Like what is
24,
the date?
24, 4, 5, 3.
Yes.
I became dyslexic. Trigger warning.
That's what happened?
Yeah, no. 20 in the last.
All the anti-Semitism made you
listen, it throws me. No, but that's just the reality of what our lives are like. Is just everything has felt very upside down.
Yeah.
And but I love seeing positive examples like him where he is unapologetically who he is, and I love that he is. I've gotten so many DMs of positive.
Yeah.
Stories about him since I shared that. So many people are like, oh my gosh, I love him. He's great. He took his whole entire team to Jerusalem a couple years ago and showed them Israel. He speaks so openly. I don't know if you follow him on Twitter, but he's amazing on Twitter. He's phenomenal. And
you know what else I like about this as well is that, Auburn's in the South. And he is now exposing a new group of people to himself being Jewish. And the shit that he goes through probably on a daily basis, because obviously you're receiving, bad DMs and all. I'm sure he gets the same thing, right? So he is now talking to a group of young men who are on his basketball team, who may have not had any exposure to anything that's going on, doesn't know much about it. And that he's able to shed some light on it is amazing to me. The fact that he asked his team before if he could say something, again, it just shows me that he really cares about being Jewish, about everything that's going on, whether it's in Israel or here in the U.S. In terms of being Jewish. I think it's just a phenomenal thing that he's doing.
Yeah, I love it. I love that story. It's a really good one. You know, we were talking about just like what else we wanted to talk about this week just before we get into like some other personal stories. And something else that kind of was such a big deal last week was Gal Gadot and her getting this Hollywood Walk of Fame star. So Gal. Do you say Gadot or Gadot? Gadot.
I was literally just looking at it yesterday. I think you got to do the T at the end.
Let me see.
Not Gadot.
How do you say Gal Gadot? There's no one in your contacts? Are they anti-Semitic?
No.
Is Siri anti? Hold on.
Well, this is good.
How do you say Gal Gadot? There's no one in your contacts.
What is that? What?
Why are they asking? Why are they asking for contacts?
I don't know.
How do you pronounce? This is crazy. How do you pronounce Gal Gadot? Here we go. Okay. Gal Gadot.
The T, right?
Gal pronounced like gut? Gal?
Gal.
O sound is short like in dot and the T is pronounced.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot.
I'm going to let you say her
How
name
do you say
now.
Gal Gadot? Here we go.
Gal Gadot.
In a British accent? Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot? The hell is that?
We are looking at how to pronounce what is effectively the most common Vietnamese name, a very common name now.
What are you looking at on your phone? You okay?
Gal Gadot.
Okay. Anyway.
We have to just only say her name like that now. Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
So Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot. Let's see exactly what day this was that she got this Walk of Fame star. She got her star. Number one, she's 39 years old. She was born in Petach Tikva, Israel.
Did we visit that place?
You know, I don't know. I know that name, but I don't know if I was there without you
What
or
part of...
Okay, Petach Tikva
this is really...
Well, it looks like it's in Israel.
Thank you.
It looks like it's right, you know what? It's right near Givat Shmuel and Bnei Brak and Kiryat Ono and Yehud Monosan and Hod Yahash.
You are so Israeli in this very moment.
I'm trying really hard.
It's really funny.
Actually, Petach Tikva is gorgeous.
You're spitting all over me too when you say all these names.
It's right below Herzliya.
Okay.
It's between Netanya and Ashdod. How Israeli am I?
I love it. You could be completely just making up random
Okay,
towns.
it's north of Jerusalem and south of Haifa. I
That's
don't
all you
know.
needed.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah. It's right in the middle there.
Okay.
So
All
the
right.
point is, it looks beautiful.
Is there a point?
I don't know. What
Okay.
was the point of this
I don't
story?
know. We were talking about the
You
Hollywood
asked
Walk
me
of Fame.
where it was.
I know, and I regret asking you where
She's
it was.
5'10". She is married to a man. His name is Jaron. I don't know, and they have, I believe, 4 daughters.
4.
Most beautiful family. I don't know if you have seen their family.
I have.
But so she gets this Walk of Fame star, right? And unfortunately, let's first talk about
that she got the star.
she got the star.
Yes.
Okay. Now, on the day, let's talk about what day. I'm trying to see where the day is. It's every news article. You can't find it because every single news article, what do you think?
I don't know.
If you Google Gal Gadot's Walk of Fame ceremony,
They talk about what happened to her star.
how it was disrupted by protests.
Right.
It was Tuesday, so it was exactly 6 days ago, Tuesday, March 18th. It says Gal Gadot's Walk of Fame ceremony was disrupted by confrontation between pro-Palestine and pro-Israeli responders. But the point is that she did get a Walk of Fame, which is an amazing, amazing deal, considering what is going on in the world right now, considering what is going on in the conflict, and of course, she's also involved in this like really, really crazy Snow White movie.
Which I did not see.
My kids saw it with my mom.
They did?
Well, my mom.
They're the ones?
They're the 3 people that saw this movie. So this movie, my mom said, listen, I thought it was actually a great movie.
Okay.
Listen, my mom was like, I supported Gal.
Gal?
Gal. Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot?
Gal Gadot. So she said it was a great movie, actually.
Okay.
But Gal said in the movie, she said, in the ceremony, I'm just a girl from a town in Israel. The star will remind me that with hard work and passion and some faith, anything is possible. She said as she stepped up to the podium. She thanked Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel was there.
Sorry, just random.
Well, he gave a speech.
What were they in a movie together? What am I blanking here?
You know what? I don't know, but apparently he teared up giving her a
Superman
speech.
and when she was Wonder Woman? No, it wasn't. But what?
I don't know, but he teared up giving her a speech. So for that, I will always thank him for that. That's
Now
very
I gotta
kind.
figure out what movie they were in together.
I don't know. Look at
You do your thing, I'll look.
ChatGPT. She said to Vin Diesel, you took a chance on a complete unknown and invited me into the Fast and the Furious family. There you go.
Oh, so she
Talking
okay.
about starting big. It was my first movie ever, and your faith in me completely changed the course of my life, she said. She thanked him for trusting in her and added, we're always family. Then she told Patty Jenkins, who was her Wonder Woman director,
Okay.
going through this journey together, you've been a beacon of light and have always guided me with love and compassion. Working with you taught me to trust myself and my powers as an actress. It was only after our movie that I finally started to call myself an actress. And then, of course, she said she's Israeli. She's been an outspoken supporter of Israel on social media. And then she was in a passionate speech on March 4th when she was honored at the Anti-Defamation League's annual summit in New York City. She said, never did I imagine that on the streets of the United States and different cities around the world, we would see people not condemning Hamas, but celebrating, justifying, and cheering on a massacre of Jews. Good times.
At what point did the ceremony get disrupted? Do we know? Like
The entire time.
The entire time.
It was loud. It was loud. It was the entire time. It says that you could hear people the entire time screaming. The crowd shouted the entire time. Several dozen protesters showed up just before the ceremony was due to get underway, with pro-Palestinian protesters holding signs that read, "Heroes fight like Palestinians." Okay. Viva, viva Palestina, and no other land won the Oscar.
That's a weird thing to say. Was there a chant?
Up with liberation, down with occupation.
At least there's a ring to that one, but like no other land won an Oscar. That's their chant?
Well, in that movie, we even know the truth about that movie now.
But I'm just trying to figure out how that even sounds when people are chanting that.
Well, we didn't say they were smart. Okay, so anyway, it was unfortunately, then they did, of course, free Palestine, Disney, you can't hide. Disney supports genocide.
Disney?
Yeah, because it's a Disney movie.
Oh, because Snow White. Oh, no, but okay.
Sabra has got to go. Sabra hummus?
Yeah, they have an issue, but I think it's made in New Jersey or some shit. Like, it doesn't even make a difference.
Oh, because of the movie
Yes.
Israeli superhero Ruth Bat Saraf, a.k.a. Sabra.
Yes. That's right.
Because it's played by an Israeli person.
Yeah, in the which I haven't seen yet, which is the latest Captain America, because it is an Israeli. She plays, or the character
what's so
is an
nuts
Israeli.
about this?
Oh, you're gonna tell me, aren't you?
Okay, number one, for those of you guys that are just watching and don't really know the rules about Israel, the reason why people are so mad at Gal is because she served in the IDF. Gal Gadot.
Okay, thank you.
Because she served in the IDF.
Yes.
Now, you want to explain to everyone what the rules are in Israel?
Well, hold on.
Okay, sorry.
I don't think. I mean, I think you're right. I think there is part of that. Mm-hmm. But I think because she's outspoken about it, people aren't going to like her anyway, right?
Well,
and
yeah.
she is from Israel, so people are going to be upset about that. I think because I don't know.
If you're born in a country that's in war, you're just automatically.
I think if you're outspoken about it, and there's so many people that take a different side to the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but people think because you're in the IDF, you are like you chose to fight in a war.
But when you turn 18 in Israel,
exactly,
this
is important.
The IDF. This is part of being an Israeli.
It's literally like, it's not like I want to go to war, I am a fighter. Right. It's part of what happens when you're an Israeli citizen.
It's not like what happened here after 9/11, where shit went down and a lot of people were like, I want to help America, I'm going to join, and I'm going to fight the war. No, it's not like that. This is, if you are 18, you're done with school, That's what you have to do. It's
And
just
it's
part
2
of life.
years.
Yes.
And many, many times you're going through a period where it's very mild and mellow.
Right.
And there's many years where there's no combat and and it's very clerical and you're just doing like admin.
Yep.
And that was like, I have family, you know, that was their life. They just went for 2 years. And when you're walking around Israel, like when we went to Israel, you're hanging out with them, walking around soldiers, young girls, 18-year-old girls. It's very common. You're just walking around gorgeous, beautiful women in army uniforms with guns.
Yael, our counselor. So we had a counselor
Gorgeous.
on our trip, and she would carry around
Her rifle
her
or whatever
rifle.
it's called.
Yeah, everywhere she went. Because every time you go on these trips, they have somebody who's there, one of the
Very
counselors.
you have to be secure.
Right. But we loved Yael.
She was
we
gorgeous.
all loved Yael.
Wasn't Yael so gorgeous?
I wonder where she is now.
She's watching Just You and Me.
Ah, okay, good.
She's like, oh, Dana and Adam, I always knew you were going to be friends.
Yes.
And Ashel.
Oh, in Asia.
And Jonah Light.
But he's not Israeli.
No, he's here in
Yes,
LA as a
yes,
photographer.
He is.
We should invite him on the show.
Wait, I'm still thinking about Yael.
Oh, okay. Do you want some private time?
No, I'm good now. Good.
Okay.
We're good. It's over.
It's fast. It's a fast little in and out.
Past, we're good.
So yeah, it's a very different, like it's a different kind of mindset there, but it's not, it's a lifetime. It's not an army to go to become. I mean, this is obviously up for interpretation, of course. I think the majority of people that watch this podcast, though,
Understand.
Yeah. And of course, and I don't really want to get into like the controversial stuff, but I don't know if you saw Hannah Einbinder's. You know who Hannah Einbinder is?
I feel like I do.
Hacks.
What was that?
Hacks.
Oh, yeah, I don't watch Hacks, and I know. Don't give me that look.
Well, it's going to be tough for me to watch it
Okay.
because she's becoming very, very, very outspoken.
Got it.
She's a really anti-Israel Jew.
Oh.
Really.
Ooh.
And it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, maybe I did hear something about that.
Well, she's already kind of spoken out,
Right,
like
I
in the
think that's
Golden
what it
Globes or the Emmys. She won a Golden Globe and then went after plastic straws. I can't remember what award show was that, Lance, where she got up and she was like, "Why are we going back to plastic straws?" Like,
I think that was the Golden Globes.
yeah, I was like, really? This is what we're focusing on?
Wouldn't you rather focus on plastic straw than hatred of Jews? Like, meaning that I wish there was no hatred of Jews, and
I wish
all we had to
plastic
worry about
straws was the
plastic
biggest
straws.
issue.
I wish that was the biggest issue. to
Oh my
talk
God, the
about.
good old days. The good
I
old
know,
days.
the good old plastic straw days.
Well, I was talking at dinner last night. We were talking about how things used to be so much easier. And, you know, this is interesting. We can go into like a little bit of how we were like when we were growing up. But things used to just be so much more mellow, like before everyone had such a voice. I'm serious.
Before social media?
Kind of.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Like, I
we grew up
miss
in that
it.
time.
I miss the fact that we didn't know what everyone had to say all the time.
Or everyone's opinion. Like, I don't, like, you know.
As we say this behind a microphone, we're like,
know. Listen,
I wish people didn't know what we had to say.
Well, we're part of the problem now.
I know.
No, but the idea of, like, being able to, like, the only time I would know, like, what was cool to wear or what people were listening to is when I got to school. You know, when I got to high school or when I walked in that day and we were talking about some kind of music or something like this. Now it's all on social media. I don't have what you're looking at me.
No,
like
I'm
crazy.
wondering, how did we know what was cool? Magazines.
MTV.
MTV, magazines, Beverly Hills 90210.
Of course.
But we never gave a rat's ass as kids about politics, about
Not so much.
social issues. When I say kids, I mean like teens.
I mean, there was a little bit there. There was, well, maybe not Beverly Hills High School.
No, when you were like 12, 13, 14, did you care about social issues,
Not when I
like
was 12,
political?
13, 14, but as I got older, sure, a little bit more.
College, maybe?
End of high school.
Okay, what was the first thing that you remember seriously caring about, like majorly politically?
Probably the impeachment of Bill Clinton.
Just because there was a sex scandal.
Not just
Yeah,
because of
I
sex
saw the way
scandal.
you reacted to Yale,
What?
the counselor.
What are you pointing at me for?
I don't
what are
know.
you,
That
where are
area.
you pointing at?
I just feel it.
I need to
Something,
cross my
something
legs
over
tighter?
there. Something over there.
God, comfortable.
Why do you have? It's getting uncomfortable.
I don't know where I got to point it now. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I mean a little bit, but you're right. It's not like what it is now, where it's like you can be in some ridiculous echo chamber that is just on your phone.
So even when there was like huge things that went on, O.J. Simpson, big life stuff, we would watch it, and we were talking about this last night. We would watch it on the news.
Yep.
So you'd have to be at home. You'd have to be in front of a TV.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be an obsession all day on your phone, constant. And you wouldn't be able to get fed the constant obsession and then the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And like you wouldn't be able to kind of piggyback on everyone's, you know how like if you see a post and you see 5,000 people saying the same thing and then 2,000 people liking each comment,
right,
it builds you up to like it too.
I think the difference too is that my dad, the foot guy, was very outspoken. So I would hear a lot from him. So you wouldn't have the either echo chamber or just talking about this online. You'd have your parents talking about it at home, which is what was kind of the big thing in my household when any of this stuff, anything went down, my dad would talk about it constantly.
So like how Jewish were you when you were growing up? Like when in terms of Judaism, this was something that your parents were very, very big on?
So my dad more so than my mom. They came to LA sometime in the 70s, and then my dad grew up in Brooklyn, pretty Orthodox, but not over the top. I don't think he was wearing yarmulke all the time, but I don't exactly know where he stood with that. But when we grew up in the Valley, San Fernando Valley, we belonged to a conservative synagogue. So we would not go every single Saturday, but we did a lot of Hebrew schooling. So I grew up in a family that wanted to make sure that my Jewish identity was very deep within me. My dad, because he was an immigrant, his parents, my grandparents survived Auschwitz. He came over here. He wanted to keep that Jewish identity, that Jewish feeling alive. So he wanted to keep that with us. So not only did I go to Hebrew school twice a week after school, which was horrifying, and I hated it. Who wants to go to school after going to school? It was really dumb. I'm happy now about it, but and a lot of the extracurricular things I did were Jewish related. I went to Jewish summer camp, sleepaway camp, which is actually brought my songbook. So
oh my
we can get
gosh.
into this later.
I'm excited.
Camp Hess Kramer. This is where Bowie Kala from last episode is in
All
there.
right, that's our theme song.
Yeah, it is.
That's our every
but just
every
us
day.
singing it.
I'm so excited.
Good. So went there. So everything I did was very Jewish inspired, as well as doing my bar mitzvah, and even after my bar mitzvah, still continued Jewish education. There was confirmation, which I think was 2 years after your bar mitzvah. So you still did the Hebrew school thing. You did even more. So I think, yeah, the short answer is I was very Jewy growing up, to the point where even when I went to college, I joined a Jewish fraternity. So it's kind of been my thing. I mean, I look Jewish enough. I think we talked about this last time. I look Jewish enough. I needed the culture and everything to fulfill the rest of it.
Yeah.
What about you?
I would say it's so the opposite. Like, other than the fact that my parents were Israeli, and born and raised in the sense, I mean, not my dad, but my mom, they both came from Israel and moved to New York and then moved to Los Angeles. And I grew up with parents that had an Israeli accent. My name is Donna, spelled Dana, because I was born to as Dana.
Donna.
And they spoke Hebrew at home. My mom married an Israeli
Oh, they spoke Hebrew all the time?
to each. Well, my mom and dad were divorced, but my mom married an Israeli as my stepdad. So that was like their language at home with each other. But they didn't speak Hebrew to me.
Okay.
but I was around so much Hebrew at home. And like we would go shopping on Fairfax, which here in West Hollywood is like Little Israel.
Yeah.
So I was around so much of Israeli culture growing up without knowing anything about Judaism.
So crazy.
Yeah, nothing about Judaism. Did not go to Hebrew school, did not go to Jewish summer camp, would go to Israel sometimes to visit family in the summers, but didn't have any knowledge of Judaism other than like Passover dinner, the cultural side of it.
Okay.
We would go to temple once in a while on high holidays. We didn't belong to a temple.
Interesting.
We never went to like I would never know any of the songs. I would never know any of the prayers off the top of my head. We tried to go to Hebrew school a little bit and then just like gave up on it. Like I think my mom was like, it's expensive. Like forget it.
Okay.
My mom is not a religious woman by any means. I actually don't even know how much she believes
Okay.
in the religion, but she's a spiritual person, and that's where I think we stand too. It's like I believe more in religion than my mom does, but I'm very much like the culture of Judaism is so important to me. But I connect with Judaism and I stand by Judaism, and I'm very like protective of the Jewish people.
Did you have friends that were getting bar and bat mitzvah? When
Oh,
you
I
were
went
that
to
age?
everyone.
Were you jealous at all, or was it just like, oh, I get to take part in everybody else's celebration?
I was
That's good enough?
jealous, but I also knew like there was like a whole other story because I went to school in Beverly Hills and I never lived in Beverly Hills. So like I also knew we just never had the money for it. And I was
Right.
always like the Andrea Zuckerman and the wrong side of the tracks, like the Jewish girl on the wrong side of the tracks,
Yeah.
you know? So I also knew that like if we did have a bat mitzvah, it would never be like at the Four Seasons, like my friends were at the Beverly Hills Hotel, like
Yeah.
my friends had it. So I just accepted it for what it was. But when I decided to go on our Israel trip when I was 16, that was my first like entrance. And I remember going there and everyone knew all the songs. And I was like, where am I? And how does everyone know everything? But it was my first time feeling like this is so fun.
I didn't even think about that. I realized like,
I was
Because-
a fish out of water.
and so many of the people that we went to Israel with, I knew from either Hebrew school or Jewish summer camp or some kind of, 6
Yeah,
degrees
you guys were
of
all
Jewish.
so dorky together.
Oh, 100% we were.
Biggest.
100%. But we were, we knew all the songs. And that's interesting. I didn't even think about people who just came on the trip who didn't have as much of a Jewish identity because they didn't go through all these things that we had gone through and didn't see the songs. But I mean, now obviously you know them. And it's interesting, I think, when you think about how we raise our kids now, because I think I really want to instill a Jewish identity in my girls, but I think it's interesting now because you send your kids to Jewish day school, which is obviously different than what we do. We have, we're in public school in Los Angeles. Yes, we do send our kids to Hebrew school, but it's interesting that not that it's a flip, but it kind of something at least changed within you.
Something has changed within me.
That's not a Jewish camp song.
Something is not the same. Can we sing it in Hebrew?
Go for it.
That's Wicked, and that was written by a Jew. And Mark Platt is the producer of Wicked, and he is a Jew. Why did I do that? Number one, I think so many people go to Jewish preschool. So we started in the Jewish train. And when I met Lance, my goyish husband, when I met Lance, I remember telling him, because I was looking for a Jewish husband. We should have a whole episode on dating.
We will. We'll do that.
Okay, put it in the notes somewhere. So producer.
Where's Dylan?
Where's Dylan?
I know.
We need our Dylan. So I remember telling Lance, like, if we ever get married and have kids, we're having Jewish kids. Like, that was important to me. I knew it. But the way it works usually is that the mother, if the mother is Jewish, the kids are Jewish. And that's how the Jewish religion goes, at least, in terms of. So he was totally open to it. And Lance is not religious at all. It's not like he was a devout Christian or Catholic or anything. He was kind of just atheist. So he was open to whatever. And he's been so accepting of the Jewish religion and almost like more open to it than maybe even a Jewish person would be that wasn't that Jewish, you know? So we were totally on board for Jewish preschool. And then when we moved him out of that into public, and that we were planning to move them out of public and moved into a good school district, COVID hit. And so the school closed. And so we were like, great, now what do we do? The smaller day school opened up faster. So we kept them at the Jewish day school because they had in-person classes.
Mm-hmm.
And then when school, it was weird. It's like everything kept us out of doing it. And then when we were going to bring them back into public day school or public school, Dylan, my oldest, only had like 2 or 3 more years before we'd have to move them out again. And I was like, I just kept it in the circuit. I don't know. We just kept on this train.
And do you enjoy it? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
It's so weird. I never thought that this was going to be our plan. Never, ever. I never in my wildest dreams. But they really like it. They love their friends. My oldest one really connected with like the Jewish side of it. And my youngest one loves his friends.
That's awesome.
And my youngest one is like so cute. He's like a little bleach blonde, like towhead Jew.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so weird. But they're cute. They're good kids. I don't know.
It is interesting. I think, for me, I don't want to do things exactly the way I did it when I was a child, but I do like the certain things that I did from a Jewish perspective. I do enjoy having a nice community at the synagogue where we belong. Send them to Sunday school. And then still, participate.
Do you
as much
belong
as
at the same preschool that we went to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's the same. So Donna and I sent our kids to the same preschool, and there was some overlap there. But now we belong to that synagogue as well.
Do you find, do you think you would want to send your kids to a big trip to Israel like we did?
Absolutely.
Me too.
Absolutely. Not for all the reasons that we enjoyed it, which was
what was the reason you enjoyed it?
A lot of hooking up. We were teenagers.
How many girls did you hook up with on that trip? Lance, close your ears.
I don't think there's enough time for us to count that high.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You were not the only one, Donna.
You were definitely not the only one.
Okay, well, calm down there.
Okay.
Well, now I got to think about it.
You got me insecure that I was.
I'll give you an answer next week when I'm done counting in my head.
I had 7.
That's it?
How many guys were on this trip?
I don't know.
But it was just kissing and stuff, guys.
Sure. So
we were young.
Sure. We were 16.
I know, but I didn't go that far.
Sure. So
oh my God.
I answer you all the time. Yeah, that's the one thing. Okay, backtrack for a sec. I love summer camp. I loved going to sleep with camp. I went to Camp Escramber for 7 years.
Why? You would hook up?
Well, I had my first kiss there at this beautiful menorah looking over the Pacific Ocean. It was like the most with Carrie Farley, who's now an Orthodox Jew and lives in Israel. Go figure.
Carrie Farley.
That's
related to Chris.
No. Was Chris Jewish? I don't think so. Now she's Carrie Jankovic, I think, or I don't know. Anyway.
Maybe she doesn't want her information out there that she kissed you under the menorah. She's religious. She's Orthodox.
Don't worry. Her husband knows.
Okay.
Because her husband was in my Jewish fraternity. See, this Jewish geography just continues to happen.
How dorky is a Jewish fraternity? I partied with you guys a little bit in college.
There's a lot of dorkiness. We are.
We'll get there. You know what? We need to. These are things that we got to get to. We'll do a whole Jewish fraternity, Jewish Greek life.
Yes.
I want to know all about Jewish Greek life. We'll do Jewish dating.
Good. And maybe with Jewish Greek life, I can have some guests come on for that one.
Some of your Jewish Greek life friends.
Oh, you know it.
Oh my God.
Yes, we could do that.
I would love to hear from. I want to hear the dorkiest Adam stories.
Oh, there's plenty. But the Jewish.
Did you guys like shoot Manischewitz?
No. What? Oh, come on. It's still college. Shooting Manischewitz. No, we'd find the cheapest alcohol we could find. So, no, that's the thing I'm just scared about Jewish summer camp. Yes, I know my girls are girls, kids will be kids, teens will be teens, but the whole idea of that
let them live
scares. I get it. Still scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, but
don't wanna do that.
that's going to happen regardless, wherever they are. That's part of being a dad.
Well, I guess it's better that they do it away from the house, and I don't have to think about it.
What,
Or-
you don't want to invite the guy into your living room and have them make out on your couch? So open the songbook to any page right now. This is how we're going to end the show today. We're going to open the songbook to any page and just pick one.
Hold on, I gotta find one I know if I'm just gonna do that.
I want to just pick any random one.
Well, I gotta find. Oh well, okay. Some of these aren't just
Just you.
Jewish songs.
What are they?
They're random like songs from I don't know. Like they have James Taylor songs. Rubber Ducky is in here. Like why were we singing that at camp? I don't know why.
Sounds sexual.
But there's Shalom Rav. Do you remember that one?
No, I didn't go to camp.
Well, maybe we sang it during.
Sing it for us.
Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tatzi Leolam.
That's it? Okay,
That's all
let
I'm
me pick
thinking.
one.
Oh, you want? All right, you do it.
And close my eyes. Havenu shalom alechem, alechem shalom. Why is there so many? Havenu shalom alechem, havenu shalom, shalom, shalom alechem. Oh my God, Hatikva, Hava Nagila. This is my favorite. I'm taking this, father
No.
and son.
Yeah,
No,
father
it's
and
the
son.
time to make a change.
I sang that in our Israel.
I
with
will never
Misha-
forget.
with Misha
We are going to
Pollack.
bring that video up.
We
Yes,
got a lot to
you
talk
and Misha
about.
Paula.
We got a lot to
What
talk
is
about.
Donna Donna?
Oh, you know what it is. It's about you.
It is about me. You guys, thank you so much
Yes.
for subscribing to Just You and Me here on YouTube and on, and on the audio platforms, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Leave a 5-star review and a rating. Thank you so much for being so kind. Leave a comment below and tell us what you guys want us to talk about in future episodes.
Yes.
If you want us to talk about certain different topics, do you want us to talk about more of the anti-Semitism stuff, or do you want us to talk about more funny stories, history stuff? If you want us to talk about geography, I'm Not Your Girl. If you want us to
Sports.
talk about Gal Gadot.
I think we're done with the pronunciation of Gal Gadot.
But if you want to talk about Hebrew songs, and we'll bring in a band. You guys, thank you so much. We'll see
Thank
you
you,
next
guys.
week on Just You and Me.
Bye.
Bye.